Welcome back. This is Sandy from Sandy's Organized Chaos, and today I'll be showing you how I make my glittered beach tumbler. I have been selling this for the last couple summers, and this has been a huge hit every time, and I hope it will be for you too. So let's get to it. Today I will be using a Hog 20-ounce plus tumbler. This has a screw top lid. The glitters I will be using today is Blue Lagoon from Mr. Nola's Glitter. I will also be using a Teal Chunky by Recollections. It's almost like frost, but a bigger cut. I will also be using a Navy by Recollections and a Copper by Recollections. Recollections, if you don't already know, is sold at any Michael's craft store. Now I'm just going to prep my board, and that means I'm going to pop my lids open so that way they're ready to go when I need to use them. I prepped my tumbler, I painted it white, and I have my football on a stick. Now don't make fun of my football. I know, it's very well used. It does the job though. You can find those footballs at any dollar store. They're just $1 a piece, and they work really well on these 20-ounce skinnies. I have my Alumilite Amazing Clear Cast epoxy, and I am just going to do a stripe on the front. Make sure you get that dent on the bottom, and I'm going to rub that all over, and then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Yes, I pretty much use the epoxy method on almost everything that I do. You just want to keep on rubbing it, and you want to make sure that it's completely covered so that way the glitter has something to stick to. If you leave any gaps, then it won't stick. I'm going to take my copper and I'm going to sprinkle along the bottom. I come up probably about, on a 20-ounce, probably about 2.5, maybe almost 3 inches. You just want to make sure that you completely cover it until there's no white showing. Then you're going to move on to that teal. And you're going to sprinkle that really well. See, I had to move on to the bigger lid. It just wasn't, the shaker part wasn't doing its job. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over really good. And if you notice, I left a little bit of a gap in between the copper and the teal. I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to remove my fancy paper. And I'm going to do navy across the top, and I'm just going to kind of bring it down into that teal, almost like an ombre effect. I'm going to take that Blue Lagoon from Mr. Nola's Glitter. Well, after I remove the navy, hold on. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to take that Blue Lagoon and I'm going to sprinkle it just right there in between the teal and the copper, where the shoreline would be. When I'm done with this, I will put it on my turner for about 3-4 hours, and then I will stand it up and let it dry for another 24. Then I will give it a nice coat of clear coat, because the next step, when we apply the epoxy will repel away from that glitter if I don't give it that clear coat. It's all dry and it has its clear coat on, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. I have 2 cups. One will be for the waves, which I use Piñata Blanca Blanca, and I use Alumilite's Ocean Blue dye. Now this stuff is really potent, and I'll show you in a second. I also use Tim Holtz alcohol inks, Aquamarine and Pool. Now I'm ready for my epoxy. I'm going to apply it a little thick this round, so that way all the dyes that we put onto it have enough room to move around. Okay, now I'm all done with that, and I'm going to put on my turner. Now I'm going to use that Ocean Blue from Alumilite. Now this stuff is super potent. You literally only need a little dab of it on your stick. I'll show you. It's a very concentrated dye, so when you go to put it in there, it really just makes a beautiful blue. Okay, that's all mixed up, and now I'm going to take my Piñata Blanco and I'm going to mix that up in my other cup. It seemed a little opaque to me, so I decided to add a little bit of acrylic white paint as well. Okay, I have my tumbler and my turner. I let that sit for a little bit, and I'm going to take that ocean blue and I'm just going to lay it across the teal. Now you can't really see it right now, but once that white hits it, that's when you can really see it. So I'm done applying my ocean blue. I'm going to move on to the alcohol inks, and I will just do a couple dabs here and there. You don't want too many with this such small of a surface. I'm going to move on to, I think that's aquamarine. Oops, I made an oopsie there, but that's okay. It'll be fine. It'll look just fine in the end, right? There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. That's what Bob Ross would say. Now I'm just taking my white and I'm just doing some stripes along here. Just no rhyme or reason, just kind of adding some stripes. Now this is just the first layer of waves. I will show you what I do after I apply my heat gun. Now, when I say heat gun, what I actually mean is my old hair blow dryer. I grew up poor, so I just use what I gotta use. You know what I mean? As I was saying, I'm going to use my fancy heat gun and I'm going to take it and I'm going to run it up and down the tumbler. I'm going to go from the bottom to the top, and then I'm going to switch it and bring it back and have it blow from the top to the bottom. Over top of what you just did, this is the same coat of epoxy that we were just dealing with. I'm going to do a second set of waves, and what I'm going to do with that white is just highlight areas where I would think it would look best, almost like breaking of the waves. I'm just going to continue on with that. I'm going to make sure that I come down into that copper and add waves too, so that way it almost looks like the waves breaking on the shore. Going to continue on with this, and you can just watch how I just kind of use just the tip of the stick. I don't want to dab too hard, and then I come in and make sure that I break up any blobs that I accidentally put in there. I use almost a dabbing motion, just a real light dabbing motion, and I just kind of zigzag it around to make it look more natural. You don't want to put too much. You're just highlighting areas. You're just accentuating the waves. I'm coming down more into the copper. I just use the flat part of the stick more to make it look more like waves crashing on the shoreline. These tumblers are definitely one of a kind and are for sure a walking art piece. After this is dry and you're ready to add any type of personalization, any white or gold vinyl would look absolutely beautiful with this. I After you add your personalization, she is ready for another coat or two of epoxy, and she is all done. Here you can just see that glitter shining through the epoxy, and it is ready for those summertime drinks. For my next tutorial, I will be showing you guys how I make my tropical leaf peekaboo tumbler. I hope you guys are enjoying all the summer goodness that I'm bringing your way. I hope you hit that subscribe button, give me a like, let me know what you want to hear. See my Etsy shop in the description below, and I will see you guys next time.